Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title, this video is going to be all about how I turned my bedroom into a photography studio. During this time, a lot of people are getting really creative with how they create their art. I'm all about showing you guys how to create the same quality content that you see your faves creating and do it on a budget or do it with limited resources. It's honestly all in the finesse. Like, you can really create whatever you want to. You just have to be innovative and figure out how to make what you have work. So yeah, I'm actually filming this video on my birthday because for my birthday, I wanted to have a birthday shoot. I didn't really want it to be a typical birthday shoot though, right? So I kind of wanted to go for a more artsy, whimsical, dreamy look. So for this video, I'm going to walk through my creative process with you guys and show you exactly what I did to create this home studio. And I don't know why I did quotation marks because it is a home studio. I tried to use as much budget equipment as possible. A lot of the equipment I already have is pretty affordable. Not really trying to break the bank, but still create some really cool things. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So I basically had a few different images in my mind for what I wanted to look like, and I will pop those on the screen right now. I was pretty much going for a look that was almost suspended in time. I wanted it to feel like a moment, but I also wanted it to have a certain element of storytelling. My idea has kind of gone through many different shifts, honestly. The way that I work is that once I start with something, that's usually not how it ends. It usually grows and develops more and more in the shooting phase and even more in post. So I started with the backdrop. The backdrop that we use for this photo shoot is actually held up on a regular backdrop stand. So for this shoot, we had a backdrop stand, but if you don't have one, you can also use a clothing rack. I know that IKEA sells them for like $12. So that's a really inexpensive way to have your own makeshift backdrop stand. It's really effective too, so try it out. So that's pretty much it for the backdrop. As far as props and different other elements, so my idea started off with incorporating just a wine glass, and it kind of built from there. I've also been seeing people kind of make their own clouds and like suspend them in their bedrooms, and I really thought that was a really cool idea, so I decided to kind of make my own. The intent was to have these little lights inside of the clouds that would like kind of flicker, but you can't really see it in the photo. We ended up creating some clouds and like kind of hanging them from the ceiling, and yeah, it just really added that dreamy feel that I was looking for. Okay, so this is our progress. We have the backdrop up, as you can see, and I put the silk in between. Oh, this is cute. Yeah, my original idea was to have the silk being the main part of the backdrop, but right now it's looking like, let me back up some. Right now it's looking like the silk is more of like an accent, which I don't hate it. We have our velvet chair just kind of helping us to put these on the ceiling. We taped them. My idea was to pin them, but babe said it's better if they're taped. So yeah, this is our progress. I will honestly say that this was not easy to do. I thought it would be since we had so much space to work with. Usually I only have like a corner of my room and I have to really finesse, but this was still a challenge in a way. When it comes to creating in tight spaces, you just want to make sure that you're utilizing the space correctly. I think that we had ended up shooting on the wall that had the largest surface. It really depends on how much you're trying to capture in the shot, because we ended up not even needing all that space. And honestly, since the shot is so tight, we probably could have benefited from shooting diagonally, so we had just more room. So we talked about the backdrop and the props, but now let's get into lighting, which is honestly the most important part. This was tricky, I'm not gonna lie. I'll definitely say that my pocket when it comes to lighting is your typical YouTube studio lighting, but obviously you can't use that when you're shooting for photography, it's not exactly gonna work. So there's different forms of lighting that will create different moods. I'm typically using natural light, or I'm using a standard studio setup whenever I'm filming videos like this. But when it comes to photography, and especially studio photography, you want to make sure that you are being a little bit more creative with your lighting placement. Typically, I would go for a 3-point setup, which is basically to have a key light, a fill light, and a light behind your subject to separate them from the background. I knew that that would be a good starting point for me, but I quickly realized that I was definitely gonna need more light in the space. For a lot of studio photographers, they'll use a strobe light, and that is a very large and very powerful light. You can also attach a light dome to your strobe light, and that will allow you to disperse the light and give you this nice, even, soft light onto your subject. However, those cost a lot of money. I also was crunched for time, so I wasn't able to rent one out. I really did want this to be a project where I showed you guys how to be nimble, so that's what we're doing. So the result was me actually having to use around 5 different lights. The light that I used for my key light was my ring light, which is really good. It's dimmable as well, so I was able to just kind of put it at an intensity that would work for the scene. So I also incorporated 2 umbrella lights, one pointing towards the ceiling to bounce light to the top of my head, and another pointed towards my feet or the lower part of my body. I also added a light in the background so that it would separate me from the background, and I wanted that light to be warm. I basically used just a light that I had laying around, to be honest. If you don't have like a small light, you can always use a lamp. You can even possibly use your phone, the flashlight on your phone. And the last light that I added to the scene was to act as like a fill light. So it basically bounced light off of this golden type of surface inside of the umbrella to give me more of a warm look to the bottom of my face. I know that there's so many different ways to light a scene, so if you guys have any suggestions on your favorite lighting techniques, definitely let me know in the comments below. So in all, I really didn't need a lot of money to set up this shoot. A lot of the stuff that we used, we already had on hand. I think the most expensive thing that I did use for this shoot, which is my pride and joy, my Sigma 35mm 1.4 lens. I use this lens for everything, okay? Doesn't matter what it is, I use it. I just really love the depth of field and the look it gives to my photos and videos. If you don't have the money to drop on a Sigma lens, definitely just grab a nifty 50 or a 55mm Canon lens and you will be straight. It'll pretty much give you, it's not gonna give you exactly the same look, but it'll give you something similar. So like I said, a lot of the magic does happen in post. I'm probably gonna show you guys that in another video, so definitely stay tuned. But I will go ahead and show you guys how the pictures turned out right now. So that's pretty much it for my bedroom studio. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this video, then don't forget to leave me a like down below and comment if you learned anything new. And if you create your own bedroom studio using any of the tips that I showed you guys today, then definitely tag me on Instagram at @SidTheCreative. And yeah, I think I want to make this a series on my channel, so definitely leave me some suggestions in the comments below for different bedroom studio shoots that I can do. Thank you guys again for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. A little bit more. Oh, they're gonna be next to each other? Yeah. Lights. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they started doing some construction outside. Why did they start doing construction outside? Anyways.